fly up this river and you look out over it, the sheer length of it just seems overwhelming. Right now we've got a whole flock of birds taking off on the ground. Looks like vultures. So we are descending now onto what almost certainly is the first sign of a border fence.
There's 650 miles or so of fencing, a whole 2,000-mile border. 300 miles are vehicle barriers. They're not designed to stop human traffic. But what you have is a border that's 2,000 miles long with roughly 350 miles of pedestrian fencing. The rest of it's open, more or less. There's a distinction that's kind of getting lost in the political debate about this whole thing, and that is people are now referring to the fence that exists as a wall, and it's not a wall. The wall that the president has called for is 20 feet at least, and more likely 30 feet tall. The existing fencing at the very highest is 18 feet, much of it's 15 feet, and there's only 300 miles of that.
The world has another wall, this time on the Crimea-Ukraine border, built by the Russians, in their words, to prevent the penetration of raiding groups from the Ukrainian side. With remote cameras and regular patrols, the 60-kilometre-long barrier is also equipped with hundreds of sensors, similar to measures employed by Russia on its northern and eastern borders. Russia has also made some additions to the newly completed Crimea bridge over the Kerch Strait, described as special navigation equipment to secure boat traffic. The structures also have the effect of narrowing the passage.
Alright, Shalom, this is Harwan by Yasha Allah of the GMS Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. And Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and the truth around the four corners of the earth. Yeah, man, you saw that, John. It was, Russia done built their wall. And they, what's his name, Vladimir Putin. They done built their wall in the face of America not being able to build their wall, Trump. And they built their wall in no time flat. They built the wall from, to build a border around Crimea to stop any onslaught from any, military on foot from Ukraine, which is Ukraine is under American and NATO influence right now. And Crimea was annexed by Russia from Ukraine. So now Russia's, basically claiming their borders, claiming their areas, man. And that's scriptural. Certain places that people want to desire to go into, they're going to be shut off. Certain cities and things like that. And this is the sign of it. All right. Now America trying to build their borders, but it's impossible because they got 2,000 miles of border when they only got 350 miles already done. So, and it's all bullshit fence, and most of it is fence to stop cars from coming or traffic to come through. But yeah, man. So it's just beautiful, man. It shows the demise of America, and the cankering of his riches and their pride. And it shows that Trump, he after something, man. He trying to get money. If you think about it, if he starts building a wall like Nebuchadnezzar, I want to go into that too, because Nebuchadnezzar, in 605 when he became king of Babylon, he built a wall in 575. All right, 575 BC, he built the wall, what you call the Hanging Gardens, and the Ishtar Gate, in commemoration to his father, which is Nebuchadnezzar. All All right, so I'm gonna go into that as well, but I'll probably do that when I get to my destination. But yeah, man. So you got Trump not able to build his wall, but Russia just built theirs in spite of America, in spite of Trump. You know, and you think about it, if Trump build that wall, and, starts to build it, the production, the construction of it, just like you see your construction in your everyday streets. If everybody know that's a trick to the trade dealing with construction. If you want to keep a job going, you want to get paid, all you gotta do is start some construction. All right. So they build a problem, and they he get fortune from it. So they try to build this wall, and now once he's out of presidency, he still gets paid through the investments in the companies that he chooses to build his wall. But you got the economy failing. You got poverty and homelessness skyrocketing through the roof, the numbers. You got GMO foods. You got a lot of death going on, murder and killing and stealing in America. But then you got this fool trying to focus on building a wall. Hey, man. So that's why you got Russia, China, and these foreign nations. They're gonna send proxy countries in, man. They're gonna send in troops on foot. They're gonna be looking like other nations, looking like Hondurans and all that. But they're gonna be Gurkha troops. They got all kind of troops that they can send in through them borders. All right. But I'm gonna get this real quick. This is Jeremiah 51 and 58. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary," man. And they're laboring in vain to build this wall, because it's not gonna happen. Even if they do it, the Lord said He's gonna destroy it. He's gonna tear everything down that they're building up, and ultimately America's gonna be burned with fire. Through Russia, their competitor. And with that INF treaty, that America backed out of, now they're back at a full Cold War stance. To where when Russia was the Cuban Missile Crisis, that was the last time they had ICBM staring, America was staring down the barrel of the nose of missiles from Russia. And now that they pulled out of the INF treaty, you got Russia put their hypersonic nuclear missiles carriers or planes over there in the Caribbean, or what you call Venezuela. So they could be here in no time flat to destroy America, man. So who cares? Who gives a goddamn about a wall? All right, so I'm gonna read that again, man. That's a fire precept. Jeremiah 51 and 58. And this happened to the walls of Babylon in 540 BC and 539 BC, by Cyrus the Great and Darius of the Medes. When they burned down the walls of what you call Babylon. All right. Now it says Jeremiah 51 and 58. "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, of armies, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken." So, hey, all its defenses, even the missile defenses, are broken. Russia has that invincible missile, and their missile defenses are way better than America's. I think they got S-300s or some shit like that. Way better than America's missiles, man. Missile defenses, and it's being proven. And according to Ezekiel 38, where it says, Russia's preparing all its armies. It's preparing. Be thou prepared, and all thine armies with thee, man. All thy hosts with thee. So these hypersonic missiles, they're gonna get them to Iran, China, and every other country. All right, invincible missiles that America cannot stop. It's crazy, man. You know, so it says the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, man. And they were utterly broken in 539 BC, ultimately. But today, America is spiritually Babylon, man. And this is more proof that it's the daughter of Babylon. They're moving in the same spirit. They gathered unto themselves many people. You know, they put the heart of Esau into it, of their forefathers into this place. They overtaxing the people, slaughtering of the children of Israel, you know, taking them into captivity. It's built upon many waters, and that's this place, America. All right, it's not Rome, man. It's America. They trying to build Ishtar gates again, which is the high pointed gates of Babylon. All right, as a memorial to himself. That's what Trump trying to do. Trump is the modern day Nebuchadnezzar, man. You know, Nebuchadnezzar means Baal, protect the king, protect his son, and that's what they asking the devil to do, protect Trump. You know, I'm pretty sure they damn warlocks and witches be praying in their damn secret society meetings about that shit. All right. All right, this is Jeremiah 51:11, and it says, make bright thine arrows. It says, make bright thine arrows, and gather the shields, and that's what these nations are doing. And people like Russia and China making sharp their damn ICBMs in technology, advancing their technology. You know. Preparing what's called arms race, you know, beating their pruning hooks into spears, you know, preparing their missile technology. It says, make bright thine arrows, the arrows, gather the shields, you know, gather the shields, man. Even Russia's missile, it could reach temperatures up to 2,000, you know, degrees of Fahrenheit, if I'm not mistaken. Anything at that altitude or that speed will usually melt or explode, but there's gonna be piping hot. It's gonna look like fireballs in the sky, you know, shooting to their mark, breezing through the city, going around any obstacle in its way to get to the target. That's all scriptural, man, right in front of everybody's goddamn face. So it says, gather the shields, Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, and the spirit of the king of the Medes is Russia. All right, he said what? The king's heart is in the hand of the king, is in the hand of Yahweh, and he turn it whithersoever he will. And he's gonna think an evil thought, you know? And they're gonna go up to the land of unwalled villages. Actually, it's right here. Well, actually, I'll get it in a minute. And it says, Yahweh have, he said what? Stir up the Medes against thee. All right, the Lord Yahweh has mustered the host of the battle. All right, the battle of Armageddon won. Now it says, Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, man. That device is spoken of in the book of Isaiah, where it say he created the smith to blow the coals in the fire and bring forth an instrument, you know. Actually, matter of fact, I'm gonna get that, man. All right, his device is against Babylon. All right, this is Isaiah 54:16. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and the blacksmith is to what? Beat the swords into plowshares, the plowshares into swords. You know, and they beat the swords into the precise, you know, tactical, you know, build as the actual holder of that weapon, the yielder of that weapon is going want it. You know, the warrior or the nation or the country or the army, you know, would want that weapon to be built. And what the scientists or the smiths have built for Russia is a hypersonic missile. And they came up with that technology through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. I had to do the Father's will. You know, even though they don't know it, because man's footsteps are led by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, whether they know it or not. So just like that Edomite, that fat Edomite that came out on video about being the maker of the RFID chip, and he said he was drawn to do it because they were coming up with a plan to connect the spine after it was broken and connect the nerve endings, all right? Because your nerve endings go up to your cerebral cortex, you know, into your cerebellum, and that's where the spirit dwells. You know, the soul is, man. All right, what's called the pineal gland. So their aim is to tap into that and mess up the currents that go throughout your body, you know. So anyway, so it's Isaiah 54 and 16 it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that blow up the coals and the fire, man. That came up with the technology and everything, man. And the splitting of the elements or atoms, atomic energy, if you want to call it that, man. You know? All right, so now it says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy, man. You know, and that's the waster to destroy. And that's what the Lord ultimately created these scientists for these nations to build. All right, or their witches to build, man. All right, and that's why the scriptures call Russia the bear, meaning strong or strength or able, and they able to you know, complete Yahweh's will, which is to be the destroyer in the last days before Yahweh shows up. All right, the same way the Lord used Cyrus against Babylon, the same way the Lord used Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon against Ashurbanipal, which in 612 BC with the fall of Nineveh. You know, so the Lord always raised up a nation against another nation. He rules in the kingdom of men, and he's doing it again, man. He raised up these nations that were weaker, the one that was strong but sleep, which is Russia the bear. He brought them back into being that wild bear, taking over his areas, you know, the way the Persians and the Medes did, locking down his areas or his territory, you know, fully strong and ready. So, all right, but you got Babylon, which was built, and they built what you call the Ishtar gates, and America's moving in that same spirit, building their gates, or building what you call Trump's wall. Because Nebuchadnezzar, he had that same spirit of wanting to build a memorial or a wall to himself. All right, this is in the cuneiform cylinder, you know, and it's basically their writings of the history. And it says an inscription of Nebuchadnezzar the second, and the reason they call him the second because his grandfather was named Nebuchadnezzar. His father was named Nebuchadnezzar. All right. You had Nebuchadnezzar the first, Nebuchadnezzar the second. You had Nebuchadnezzar the first and Nebuchadnezzar the second. All right, and third and fourth, whatever, so on and so on. Now it says inscription of Nebuchadnezzar the second, describing the construction of the outer city wall of Babylon. You know, so this was a major thing before they fell, man. All right, and this was built around 575 BC, and they fell in 540, you know, 539, through Nabonidus and Belshazzar, all right, which were cousins to Nebuchadnezzar. It wasn't Nebuchadnezzar himself though, but these were Assyrians, you know. Now it says all right, I'm gonna scroll down. Now right here it says, this is Nebuchadnezzar's words, right? And that shows we're in the time of Babylon again. Because this is what Trump want to do. It says, I built a strong wall that cannot be shaken with bitumen and baked bricks. I laid its foundations on the breast of the Netherlands. And I built its top as high as a mountain, and that's what Trump wants to do, man. All right, and their wall was what, 35 feet high, something like that. You know, and Trump's wall is going to aiming to be 15 feet, if I'm not mistaken, 30 feet, 20 feet. All right, you know, I forgot how long it was. Let me see if they got it right here. They probably don't have it. But yeah, it don't matter, man. But yeah, that shit was destroyed, and they moved part of it. Let me get this real quick. All right, I'm gonna read this. It says a reconstruction of the Ishtar Gate, and that's what they believed in, Ishtar, which is the worship of the moon, man. All right, and just like America, they worship the moon, they worship the sun. You know, and it says a processional way was built, which is like an aisle that they built with high walls on each side. And it says was built at Pergamon Museum in Berlin, right? And the Pergamon represents where they had a statue of Zeus at, you know, the demon Zeus, the idol Zeus, and that's in the scriptures as well. Now they took that Ishtar Gate, and they took the top layer of it from actual Babylon, what's called Iraq today, you know, and it was built by a guy named Hammurabi in 1700 BC, circa, and then you had it rebuilt and revised with Nebuchadnezzar and his son Nebuchadnezzar, who finished it, and then you had, what's his name, Bin Laden, no, Saddam Hussein. You know, he tried to rebuild it as well. All right. So now they took the top layer off, and they took that to what's called Pergamon. So they still have layers of it still in place today over there in what's called Babylon, all right, or Iraq, or Chaldea. You know, southern and northern Chaldea, Mesopotamia. Now it says, out of material excavated by Robert Coldway and finished in 1930s, it includes the inscription plaque. It stands 14 what's that, millimeters or miles, or millimeters, 46 feet high, shit, and 100 feet wide, man. 100, you know, 14 meters, which would be 46 feet high. The walls, and it says 30 meters, which would be 100 feet wide. Jeez. The excavation ran from that time 14 meters. During that time, 14 meters, meaning 45 feet of the foundation of the gate, was uncovered, and that's the gates right there. All right. So I'm gonna get this right here. I'm gonna close it out. But the Ishtar gates, this how they look. You know, the same thing Trump trying to do, build them damn high ass gates with points on top of them and shit. Look just like America's gates. Yeah, there you go, man. Trump's wall, what they vision it to be. And you see, they only got 300. You know, they want spikes at the top, just like the Ishtar gates, man, and the you know, the walls that Nebuchadnezzar built all around Babylon. All right, it's crazy. Of a land that they stole, man. This dude caused a government shutdown that's been going for 10 days. And what did he want? He promised that the Mexicans were going to build it or pay for it. Mexico. But Mexico said, if you force us to pay for a wall, we're going to go to war. So now Trump, they saying, fuck it, the people going to pay for it in America. Now they plan on taxing the people. That's why you got the fundraiser, the GoFundMe. You talking about government shutdown, taking the pay away from people, and saying, hey, I'm going to do this until you give me the funding for the wall. You know, or the pipeline and things like that. You got to see how he move, man. All right. So this is all set up so they can build up, and the Lord throws it down. This is Malachi 1:4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. You know, And that's what Esau has been doing ever since they came out of the Caucasus Mountains of Petra. You know, and they've been trying to rebuild the desolate places, and the desolate place that they built now is America. Originally, it's a desert, and they showed you that in the video where I just showed in the beginning, where the guy was in the helicopter surveying the land, and he said it's all desert lands, man, vultures and shit, and that's what the scriptures say, and that's what America really is, a wasteland, desert land, man, set up to be destroyed. All right, a land of doleful creatures that Esau built all their imaginations and circuits upon, man, with a bunch of clowns in it. So it's Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom said, Edom is a so-called white man, the Caucasians, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And that includes your gates and your walls, whatever the hell you want to call it, man. They're saying it's not a wall, it's a gate or whatever. You know? The reason they call it a wall because they don't want to sound like Ishtar gates, which goes back to Babylon. And it says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, of armies, they shall build, right? This earth and everything in it is like clay. You know, you build things up out of it. And the clay is here. As long as the earth is here, the clay is going to be here, which is the dirt and the elements and shit like that. And man is here to manipulate the elements. You know, so everything that man has built through his imaginations can be reimagined. You know, it can be reimagined and thrown down and rebuilt. You know, but Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has built man and built himself. You know, Yahweh has built Yahushua. All right. Yahushua built his own body upon this earth, and he was able to tear down his body and take it up in 3 days. Yahweh gave him that ability, you know. So it says, and they shall build, but I will throw down, man. And that's what the Lord has, a judgment coming for this place, America, and everything that that Trump is hoping for and planning, and their wall or gate with their damn demons guarding it. And, you know, just like up in Philadelphia, if you look at the courthouses, they got demons and gargoyles everywhere around the courthouses, and they believe that's protecting them. Just like Babylon had lions and bulls and dragons all over the Ishtar gates, that they believe that that's protecting them, you know. So that's why they got troops at all the gates and shit like that, man. And they want to have one entrance into America, just like Babylon did with the Ishtar gate. All right. So America's modern day Babylon. Now it says, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever, man. And they represent the border of wickedness, claiming they keeping out evil, but they're the border of wickedness, man. Esau. Just like Babylon was claiming to be good against evil. Nah, they was evil against good, man. You know? So where was this? Is Jeremiah 51 and 11. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, man. And the king of the Medes represents Moscow or Putin. And he made himself king when he said, and the Chinese president, they made themselves king, meaning they're going to be, there's not going to be any more elections after them. You know, it may be passed down to their children after them. So it says, for his device is against Babylon. So the Lord made Russia's devices to be set against Babylon. All right, set all these nations in their arrows against Babylon. And it says, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple, man. Because you touched the apple of the Lord's eye, you know, and the Lord put the Bible into America's hand. And they blaspheme the scriptures daily. They blaspheme the Lord. They destroy the Lord's people through their lies, calling themselves God. All right, and they're the ones that's being set up to play the part of the wicked, to bring about the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. You know. Now it says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. make the watch strong. You know, saying, hey man, you watchers over there in America, you better watch because destruction's coming. You know, you can watch all you want, but destruction's coming. Now it says, all right, it says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, and we lift up the standard upon Babylon as well, man, lifting up the Bible, the scriptures. You know, now it says, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, and the watchmen spiritually represent the elect of Israel, but also, you know, Esau has their watchmen and their devices to watch, and they watching for Yahweh's coming, and these nations. All right, and it says, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes. The Lord is preparing the ambushes, man. Right now, as we speaking, man, 2019 gonna be a wild year, man. I believe. Now it says, for Yahweh have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So everything that's already written in heaven, like he said, the kingdom is already at hand. It's already ours. So it's already happened. It's already written in heaven, and now it has to be manifested upon the earth. You know, the Lord already gave the judgment for America. Now it says, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, just like Babylon dwelt upon many waters, America dwells upon many waters. Not Rome, man. Not the Catholic Church. That's not what it's talking about. All right, America's surrounded by waters. That's what it's talking about. And it's called the melting pot. If you want to say waters are people. You know, it says, make the watch strong, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures. Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Right, man? So the end of America is at hand. You know, especially when when they starting to build up their walls, same way Babylon did. You know, and everybody building up their technology. It's time for the judgment. You know, it's great to fall into demise when they're in pride. This is Proverbs 16 and 17. It says, the high way of the upright is to depart from evil. And America has not departed from evil. 2/3 have not departed from evil. Esau has not departed from evil. And you nations have not departed from evil. Trump, all of them, man. It says, he that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall, man. So when you see somebody puffed up or lifted up, that's when you know they're about to fall, man. The Lord gonna bring them down. When you see somebody being brought low, the Lord is most likely gonna be ready to lift that person up, or lift those beings or that nation up, man. And the children of Israel have been brought low, dragged through the mud, and dug into the grave, into the ground. You know. But now the Lord's gonna lift us out of the dirt like a worm and turn us into a butterfly. Found out that damn worm wasn't a worm at all. It was a damn caterpillar. Turned into a fucking butterfly. You know? And it would spread our wings and put on our beautiful garment. Now it says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall, man. And this is to the 2/3. It says, better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud, man. You know, it's better to, you know, instead of going into the house of mirth, partying and bullshitting and loving this place and living in folly and wine and new wine, you know, dabbling in different doctrines and idols and shit, and saying it don't matter, and living in folly, carelessness, man. Falling into destruction. That's what these people are doing, especially on this folly day what they call New Year's, which is not the New Year at all. The New Year is around springtime, not when everything is dead in the winter, you know. So all right, because hey, Russia is America's competitor, man. It always has been, especially since you know, the World War II and around 1951. When Russia started doing their nuclear tests, you know, and advancing their nuclear capabilities. Now this is Ezekiel 38, and that's what all this is being set up for. Everybody building their walls and shit, right? Actually, I'm gonna get one more. All right, this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and that's what time we in. The time of civil wars and national wars and world wars, man. You know, even amongst the nations, the countries, they're putting borders on their walls and gates. And now in cities, they're going to do the same thing, you know, with martial law. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and that represents civil war. And invading one another, you know, and that goes on a major scale with countries invading each other, and also, you know, sending immigrants or migrants at each other, and also city to city, and person to person, house to house, gonna be invading one another. All right. Now it says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You know, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. All right. So that's just clear, man. And it says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid because of their pride. Once again, because they're so lifted up. And this is on a lower scale all the way up to a major scale. You know, America's being puffed up and lifted up with their weaponry and finance, and all the gifts that the dragon Europe has given to America, and that America has stolen from the children of Israel and these other nations. And now it's pride against pride. It's heathen against heathen. Satan's divided against Satan. You know, it's like a pride battle. And the true pride of the lion pride is Yahushua, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He's going to show up the conquering lion, the King of kings, Lord of lords, to crush all these nations, man, to crush their weaponry, crush them spiritually, to crush them financially, meaning in glory, you know, in advanced technology, everything, man. You know, all right. And he's the one that should be prideful, Yahushua, lifted up in true righteous pride, man. You know, under Yahweh. This is Ezekiel 38 and 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, that represents Russia. The land of Magog, that represents Eurasia over there, you know, by Moscow. The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O God. So even though Russia's raising up and building their pride up against America's pride, Babylon's pride, the Lord is still against the Medes, or Russia, if you want to call it that. The same way the Lord was against Cyrus the Great and the Medes, you know, the Medes, the Medo-Persian Empire. All right, which it was coined. It was originally called the Persian Empire, but then it was coined the Medo-Persian Empire under Xerxes. All right. Now, I'm gonna keep reading. It says, now that land of the Medes today is Russia, called Russia. All right, and the capital is Moscow, where the Kremlin is with Putin. And it says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And he did that in 2016 when they were called the Soviet Union again after the Brexit. All right. Now it says, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army. Right, they entered into a Cold War stance again with America. And all thine army, meaning all the nations that are going to build treaties and alliances with America, with Russia. As you see, Venezuela, they're allowing Russia to bring their hypersonic jets over there with ICBMs, which are actually on the borders of America right now, the doorstep. It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, meaning all sorts of advanced technology. All right. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, highly protected, highly advanced. All of them handling swords, meaning professionals at handling the weapon. Esau is blessing the sword. China, you know, all these nations, man, all being united over there in what you call the Caucasus Mountains. You know, when they go to fight over there in the War of Armageddon, over there near Syria, and also over here in America. All right, all them nations gonna come at America, man, through ships, through invasions, through troops, through missiles, and that's gonna be the ultimate destruction on this place. So it says, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling sword. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. Right, we know Persia is Iran. All of them with shield and helmet, meaning missile defense shields, man, and protection. Gomer, which is France, all of his bands, and House of Togomar, which is Turkey, of the North Quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Many nations gonna be joined with the BRICS nations. All right. It says, "Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." And it's crazy that their missiles called the Vanguard, you know, and they are guards unto these nations, man. They are guard unto Venezuela. They are guard. Russia's a guard unto China, a guard unto Iran and Syria. This is all beautiful prophecy playing out, man. The words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, he said, "Gonna turn back our captivity before our eyes." And now it says, all right, where was I at? It says, verse 8, "After many days shalt thou be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them." And that's gonna come what the whole war, World War II, World War III, and martial law is gonna fall as a judgment upon 2/3 of Israel as well. And also that land over there is gonna be destroyed. It's gonna be turned into a wasteland, a desert land, until the children of Israel inhabit it again. All right, it says, "Thou shalt ascend and come up like a storm." You know, you're gonna come up like a storm upon America. You know, that's why they say a storm is brewing, and that storm is going like a hurricane. They're gonna be able to see it coming. It's gonna creep up. Like we in that time of a storm. You can tell us about the storm, but you can't tell the exact time period. You know. It says, "Thou shalt ascend and come up like a storm," meaning spread out. Thou and rain in arrows upon this place, meaning missiles. "Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land," with their troops and their military, and they cover the land of America and the land of Israel. "And thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee." All right, or when they cover the land of what they call the Valley of Kidron, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, where they fight that war at. It says, and thou shalt say, "I will go up to the land of unwalled villages," man. Definitely gonna go up to America. "And I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates," man. And that's what America trying to do, build them gates up. And their missile defenses cannot stop the Vanguard, which is the Russia's missiles. So they have no defenses, man. All right, it's a land of unwalled villages now. The missile defense shields are pointless against Russia and these nations' technology. So it don't matter what type of fences he building and walls he building, man. He full of shit, man. Trump's full of shit because he got a money scheme off of that damn wall, and it's a distraction. All right. A reason for the Republicans and Democrats to fight and bring about civil war in America through the government shutdowns and things like that, man. To which they can place the blame of the collapse of the dollar on Trump, you know, and so on, man. I believe Trump is the king of Babylon right now that the scriptures talk about. And if not, it'd be the next president. All right. It says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, and America are rest in their wickedness. The nations in America and the people, even 2/3 are at rest in being wicked, man. And think America can't be touched. That dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey. So they're gonna take the spoil and the people into captivity, martial law. To turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, man. And America is originally a desolate place, and it's been inhabited since the Gadites, the Native Americans, since they came over here, the Northern Kingdom, Salakia, since they came over here. And, you know, and Esau sought to build their circus up upon this place, and their memorials and shit, and idols. All right. So this place is a desert land, a wasteland, like called the Wild Wild West, right? I wish they used to have mirages and shit like that, you know. It says, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land, man. So that's the judgment that's coming upon this place, man. It don't matter what gates America builds, and it was a funny thing to me that Russia got their gates built in spite of Trump trying to get his built. So that I'm saying, Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushai, Ba Hashem Harakakodash, Mama, and double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders, and shalom to you, Akim and Agwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth, man, and death to America.